Let's talk about my 10th favorite movie of the year. I thought this could be a unique way to do my top 10 list, as I only have a couple of reviews on this channel, so why not just make a review of all of my top 10 favorite movies of the year? And number 10 is Zach Cregger's Barbarian, a movie that I just had a great time with. Currently, as of recording this video, the highest viewed video on this channel, which isn't saying much, is the video with about this movie, about Barbarian, and why it worked for me, and why the twist of it worked for me, which I will not spoil. But maybe I'll get into I will get into spoilers at a certain point. But just talking about sort of a movie review. If you haven't seen it, kind of the idea behind it is a woman shows up at an Airbnb only to find out that there's a man already staying there who he says it's double booked, and that's what happened. But who do you trust? Who is the barbarian? Which is a question the movie asks you several times throughout this movie. But very fascinating. Just script. There's so many different parts that work for me. The beginning sequence, the beginning, the whole first act is just such a fun question mark of what's going on. It does a great job, I think, of moving. It's not a movie that when I first started watching it, part of me was concerned, is this going to be a movie where nothing happens until the last 5 minutes? I hate those kind of horror movies. Those are my least favorite. Some work, some I like, but still, as a whole, it's not my favorite genre. This is not that kind of movie. This is not that kind of film. They definitely move throughout. And that's part of what I liked about it so much. I think it was really smartly written, and there were just, again, only so much I can say before getting into spoilers, but just some really clever things that it does throughout it. It's a really good horror movie, and I guess the last thing I'll say is if you're not a horror movie fan, this still feels like a movie you can watch. I don't think for me, it's not, I didn't find it scary. I'm kind of weird with horror movies where I'm not saying it in like I'm tough way. Horror movies just don't really scare me that much. Which again, like if I go to a haunted house, I become a frightened little child. So like I'm not saying that like I'm not easily scared. I am, just not with movies. So, but I didn't think it would be that scary. So if you're someone who likes a horror movie that's not too bad, I think this is the movie for you. And maybe a good movie where if you're trying to get people into horror movies, I think this would be a great one to watch. But yeah. I had a great time with it. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 is my official grade, which is still good enough for 10th best. Again, put the list together. If like, yeah, this is 10th. Obviously, there's so many movies I haven't seen yet. You can't see every movie, right? So this is not a hard and fast, top 10 list. I'm sure it'll change tomorrow, probably. I'm sure I'll come up with something different. But for now, this one, it's an excuse to talk about movies, as this whole channel is an excuse to talk about movies. So, but yeah, that's my review of it. Now let's get into spoilers. So, spoiler talk. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that twist was cool, right? I mean, the whole seeing the monster run in and, bash poor Bill Skarsgård's head into the wall. And then just the way it kept going, where it does that, and then takes such a risk cutting to the Justin Long singing in Malibu sequence, which is such a, a shocking thing to do, but then again, it keeps moving. A lot of times, I think a lot of movies would, from that point, still give it another 15 minutes before we figure out why we're following Justin Long. This movie pretty much immediately says, okay, no, this is what's happened to Justin Long. This is the horror that happened with him. And then seeing the different ways that he goes through the house, of the very funny scene of him getting excited about all of that surface, because that means that he, can sell the house for more money, which, one of the things I liked about this movie were those little details of, they didn't act like they were in a horror movie, I thought. They did a good job of, there was a scene early on where Tess, the main woman, she sees that there's, toilet paper in the basement and just walks in to grab toilet paper because, you're not in a horror movie. You're just living your life. You see toilet paper. Why are you going to slowly creep down the stairs looking at, every corner? It's no, you just walk and grab the toilet paper. In this movie as well, it kind of made sense that he would do that, especially that character. But it's also just very funny because we obviously know there's the, dramatic irony of we know what's down there. So definitely very fascinating stuff there. Loved all the writing and all the, the twists that it took throughout. The only real criticisms I have of it is I felt like it got a little cheesy towards the end. I did. I thought that, again, very cool, a lot of very creepy stuff. The real Barbarian being the guy, the main guy, like the real monster there. Thought that was all very fascinating and very, and by the guy I mean the father, obviously, being he's the weirdest one, for sure. He is the true Barbarian, and that stuff was really cool. Just seeing like the different the city in a different way was unique, especially for a low budget movie. Being able to pull that off is impressive. And it's kind of just cool how this movie got made in general. Just sort of these low budget horror movies seemingly are the kind of movies where you can still let artists kind of do their thing because they tend to make money, which is cool to see as well. So yeah, just a fun time at the movie theater. I mean, that's kind of the main thing about it. That's why I enjoyed it. What did you think? Did you watch Barbarian? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.